Tonight's headlines: President Marcos arrives in Belgium for ASEAN-EU summit. President Marcos to discuss Philippine tariff perks with European Union. Telcos to start selling SIMs in deactivated mode. Philippines logs below 10,000 new COVID-19 cases. Tropical storm Rosal weakens slightly. FDI inflows down in September. And Philippine stocks end sideways. Good evening. Today is Monday, December 12, 2022. I am Elmer Navarro Manuel and this is Tribune News on Q. Here are the stories for this evening. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. arrived in Brussels, Belgium on Monday morning to attend the commemorative summit between the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and the European Union. According to the Office of the Press Secretary Officer in Charge, Cheloy Garafil, Marcos and the Philippine delegation arrived at the Brussels International Airport at 9:55 a.m. or at 2:55 a.m. in Brussels time. During the summit, Marcos, who is also the country's Agriculture Secretary, is expected to discuss the administration's priorities, particularly in expanding cooperation in agriculture, trade, and maritime ties. Marcos is also set to hold bilateral meetings with leaders from Belgium, Estonia, the Czech Republic, Spain, Denmark, Germany, Poland, Finland, the Netherlands, and the European Union. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said he will bring up the Generalized Scheme of Preferences Plus, or the GSP Plus, a mechanism that allows duty-free exports to the European Union with other world leaders. Marcos is currently in Brussels, Belgium to attend the commemorative summit between the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and the European Union. In February, the European Parliament mulled the removal of some of the Philippines' trading privileges should the government fail to address the alleged human rights violations in the country. Under the GSP Plus, a mechanism that gives developing countries the privilege of exporting zero-duty merchandise to EU member states, some of Philippine exports to Europe are benefiting from tariff breaks. In the case of the Philippines, the GSP Plus covers 6,274 locally made products. Starting December 27, Telcos will start selling SIMs in the activated mode, which users will have to register and have activated following the release of the implementing rules and regulations of the SIM Card Registration Act. According to Ayala-led Globe Telecom Incorporated, all new SIMs must be registered immediately to enjoy services, while existing SIMs should be registered within 180 days or 6 months from the effectivity of the law on October 28 unless extended. For their part, the PLDT Incorporated and its mobile subsidiary Smart Communications Incorporated and Dito Telecommunity Corporation both welcomed the IRR. The National Telecommunications Commission earlier on Monday released the IRR of the SIM Card Registration Act, which was signed into law by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in October. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Mga impormasyong direktang makukuha mula sa sources at diretsahang usapan. Yan ang ating daming sa inyo sa programang Straight Talk. Samahan nyo kami sa makabuluhang talakayan live tuwing Martes alas 10 ng umaga sa official Facebook page ng Daily Tribune at Tribune Now on YouTube. Be updated sa news and happenings katribu. Hatid ng Daily Tribune sa inyo ang mga balitang napapanahon sa loob at labas ng bansa. Kami na ang bahala sa paghahatid sa inyo ng mga latest and reliable news. We got you covered sa programang Tribune News on Q. Mapapanood mula umaga hanggang gabi, Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube.
In other news, the Department of Health reported that the Philippines registered 8,292 new COVID-19 infections from December 5 to December 11, 2022. According to the latest DOH bulletin, the daily case average for the recent week was 1,185, 7% higher than the 8,032 infections monitored from November 28 to December 4. This is the sixth straight week when the country reported fewer than 10,000 new COVID-19 cases. Latest DOH data also show that a total of 156 additional verified COVID-19 related deaths were belatedly reported in the past week. These deaths were logged from June 2020 until December this year. Meanwhile, over 73 million Filipinos, or 93.48% of the government's target population, have completed their COVID-19 vaccine primary doses, according to the DOH. Around 21 million individuals have received their booster doses. State Weather Bureau Pagasa announced that Tropical Storm Rosal has weakened slightly as it continues to move away from the country. Rosal is less likely to directly bring heavy rains in the country throughout the forecast period. No storm signals were likewise raised over the country. However, the tropical storm will partly enhance the northeast monsoon, or amihan, which may bring occasional gusts reaching gale force over Batanes and a strong breeze to near gale strength over Babuyan Islands and the coastal and upland areas of Ilocos Norte, northern and eastern Cagayan, and eastern Isabela. The center of Rosal was last seen 880 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon as of 3 p.m. It is moving east-northeastward at 15 kilometers per hour and is packing maximum sustained winds of 75 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 90 kilometers per hour. In business, data from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas show that foreign direct investments into the country declined in September as there were less inflows in debt instruments during the month. FDI net inflows for the month stood at $626 million, down from $774 million in August and $680 million the same month last year. Net equity placements for the month increased to $187 million from $31 million in August and $33 million in September 2021, with the bulk coming from Singapore, Japan, and the United States. These were directed mostly into the financial and insurance, manufacturing, and real estate industries. Meanwhile, net debt instruments slipped to $351 million from $577 million in August and $555 million the same month last year. And the local bourse's main index ended the week's first trading day sideways, but the peso weakened to a United States dollar ahead of the policy meetings of the Federal Reserve and the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index gained 0.08% or 5.08 points to 6,585.20 at the closing bell. The broader all shares, on the other hand, slipped by 0.01% or 0.41 points to 3,436.99. Most of the sectoral indices gained during the day, namely financials at 1.18%, holding firms at 0.46%, industrial at 0.04%, and mining and oil at 0.007%. Volume reached 570.19 million shares, amounting to 5.51 billion pesos. Decliners led advancers at 102 to 84, while 52 shares were unchanged. Meanwhile, the peso weakened from 55.65 from 55.37 close to a US dollar last Friday. That wraps up the stories tonight. Catch us again tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page. Again, this is Elmer Navarro Manuel, and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good night, and God bless us all.
Soul up. listen. Baseline. Drum beat. Soul up, 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 soul up. Hey!
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune